everybody, Jayce Allan here. On this episode, I'm reviewing the Back to the Future ES345 Epiphone. If you want to get right to the sound samples, there are chapters in the description. So a little while ago, I did a video called Gibson Isn't Selling Guitars Anymore. And it wasn't about Gibson not actually selling physical guitars. It was about how Gibson is actually selling nostalgia. They're selling a lifestyle. They're selling a brand, an image. And that video has gotten a lot of comments, and a lot of people sort of disagree with me that Gibson is only selling a lifestyle. Now, that's not to say that Gibson guitars aren't great guitars, but they have a specific audience. And anytime they try to deviate from the way a Les Paul should look or the way an SG should look, they take a lot of flack from their fans. And so when I made that video, it was sort of in response to the upcoming Back to the Future promotion that Gibson was doing. This was before they had announced that they were coming out with these replica Back to the Future ES345s, but we all kind of knew that that's what was about to happen. They were searching for the original guitar that Michael J. Fox played in the movie, the first film. They know where the one is from the second film, but they don't know where the one is from the first film. Now, I assumed that they knew where it was, and they were just going to sort of, say, oh, hey, we found it, and then they were going to release these replicas of the guitar. And another thing that I didn't think about was that they obviously released an Epiphone version of the guitar as well. Now, it says that they only made 1,985 of the Epiphones, but now if you go to Gibson's website, to the Epiphone section where the Back to the Future 345 is, it says notify me when available. So I don't know if that means that they broke up that 1,985 into segments and maybe released a few at the beginning to see how they would do, and then they're releasing the rest of them, or which is more likely, if they realized how popular these guitars were and how quickly they sold, and more importantly, how much they're selling for on the secondary market. Because if you go to Reverb right now, you'll see that the Epiphone version of this guitar is selling for nearly $3,000, and people are actually buying them. So I managed to get my hands on one of them, and we're going to do a little review on that right now. Not really going to do a deep dive on this one because I think there's plenty of other channels that have sort of done the deep dive on it. I more or less want to talk about whether it's a good value or not, and the condition that the guitar arrived in, sort of the fit and finish of the guitar. Okay, so here is the guitar itself. Not going to do an unboxing. I mean, it came boxed really well. It was in 2 boxes, and it was also inside the hard shell case, so it showed up in perfect condition. That said, let's talk real quickly about the fit and finish on it. This is a plywood maple body with a solid maple core, where the block is in the middle. This is a mahogany neck, and it's not solid. It has a scarf joint in it, so it's a 2-piece neck. And then the fretboard is rosewood. You got your trapezoid inlays, and of course it's got the solid 12th fret like on the guitar in the movie. The headstock features a decal on the back that says Hill Valley Music, and on the actual Gibson it's a stamped metal plate, where this one's just sort of a decal set into the finish. You got really nice vintage style tuners on it with the cream colored knobs. Bigsby tremolo system on it. 2 humbuckers, pick guard, bound fretboard, bound body, really nice looking binding on it. Just a solid single binding on the back, and it looks like a 4-ply binding on the front. F-holes are not bound. That's an interesting story there. The original guitar in the movie and the Gibson reproduction has red painted F-holes, where this one has black. And if you look at the close-up pictures of it, you can see that they didn't do the best job of painting the inside of those F-holes. And so you've got a little bit of bleed from that paint they use to finish those off. Other than that, and then one of the things that I noticed was that the intonation was off on it. I had to spend quite a bit of time getting the intonation set on it. And then the string, the high E string, was kind of stuck under this. There's like a little bushing here on the tremolo, and a little plastic bushing where this bar is, and the high E was kind of stuck under that. But other than that, not a big deal. The strings aren't the greatest, but they're not too bad. And then gold hardware, all gold hardware on it. Okay, so the neat thing about it, it's got the six switch Varitone on it. If you've never used one of these, it does what it says. It varies the tone from dark to bright, which is interesting. So we'll show that in when we go through the sound examples. And then it's got your typical 3-way switch and 2-tone, 2-volume, pretty typical of a guitar of this style. And let's see, what else? That's pretty much it. It comes with a really nice case. The case is a brown hard case. It's really nicely done. And then they silk screened the Marvin Berry and the Starlighters on it as a nod to the movie. So let's talk about this guitar right here. In my video about how Gibson is no longer selling guitars and how they're selling a lifestyle and nostalgia, I can't think of a better example than this guitar right here. This guitar retailed for $999, and they sold out pretty much within hours of being released on the day that they released these, and the Gibsons. The Gibsons sold out right away too. The Gibsons, they were only selling 88 of those, and those are going for, wow, just well over retail price. I've seen them between $33,000 and $88,000 on Reverb. Now, whether they've sold for that, I don't know, but these, the Epiphones, are selling, and the prices that they have them listed for on Reverb are, you know, well over $2,000. They're like $2,300, $2,500. I've seen them as much as $2,800. So that's a pretty good return on your investment if you happen to buy one of these and sell it. So let's talk about whether this guitar is worth it. I talk a lot about budget guitars on this channel and about affordability and whether guitars are worth it, whether they're, I sometimes use the term waste of money, but you know, I don't necessarily want to be that harsh in this case, but is it worth it? Well, if you're a Back to the Future fan, if you're a collector, a guitar collector, then definitely it's unique. I think Gibson, if they were to release more of these than the originally stated 1,985, I think that might do those of us that bought it, you know, during the first sort of release of it, I think that might do us a disservice and sort of kind of cheapen it a little bit. So hopefully they stick to that, you know, that they're only releasing 1,985, and that contact me when it's available just means that they never, you know, fully fulfilled that number. But we'll wait and see. They're not really free with the information over there. But here's where I think that, you know, the concept of Gibson building, you know, selling nostalgia, selling guitars, you know, it's a good guitar, but is it, you know, is it worth $999? And now, well over $2,000. I mean, if you paid for this what they're going for on Reverb, you could probably buy, let's see, if you could buy a Gibson was it the 335, an actual Gibson branded. Maybe not, maybe they're pretty expensive. Yeah, you could. So you could go to Gibson.com right now and buy a Satin Cherry ES345, actual Gibson 335, for what these are selling for on the second, almost what they're selling for in the secondary market. The Gibson ES335 right now is listed for $2,999. And like I said, I've seen these go for as much as $2,800 on Reverb. So that just kind of reinforces the idea that Gibson are selling a lifestyle. They're selling a brand, and they're selling nostalgia. And there's nothing wrong with it. I completely, I guess you could say, fell for it. Back to the Future is one of my favorite films, and to actually own this is kind of cool. Wish I would have been able to afford to get the actual Gibson, but this is pretty neat. It's a really neat guitar, and it's made really well, and it sounds really well. It's just some of those little fit and finish issues that kind of, you know, I don't know, that's kind of disappointing that they didn't do those F-holes better. And then the fact that it showed up and it needed to be intonated and all that. I mean, just about every guitar I've ever bought needs intonation and whatnot. As far as practicality of the Bigsby, I don't know. You could take it or leave it, but they do have, you know, the posts for the two pneumatic bridge, the stop bar tailpiece, so you could presumably, you know, take the Bigsby off and set it up so that it was more, you know, more of a traditional 345, and then you could, you know, then you wouldn't have to worry about that. But if you're really into playing with a tremolo, then you're completely fine with that. Real quick, let's take a look at this compared to a Firefly. They're calling theirs the FF338, and I just happen to have one right here, and it's a really, really nice guitar. It's very, very comparable to the Epiphone, and this guitar right now is selling for $219.91 on the Guitars Garden website. The neck is a little thinner profile than that one, and the F-holes on this are actually bound. Pretty much the same binding. This one's got a 5-ply binding on it. So if you've missed out on the Epiphone, Back to the Future Epiphone, and you really don't want to pay for, you know, over almost $3,000 for one on the secondary market, then this is a really, really good alternative. I'm actually going to convert this to a Back to the Future style guitar. I'm going to put the gold hardware on it and the tremolo and all that good stuff. So that's going to be another video altogether. And then I'm also going to do a video where I kind of shoot these out against one another. I'm not going to do that right this minute, but we'll do another video on that soon. Okay, so deep dive specs will be in the description. I'm not going to go through a ton of that stuff right now, but real quick, it is a 12-inch radius. We got 22 frets. We got a 24 3/4 inch scale length. We got a 1.69 inch Graphtec nut. And they're calling these Alnico Classic Pro humbuckers. Okay, so we're in the neck position here. And then this is the middle position. and then the bridge position. Okay, so then, like I said, that's Varitone 1. And if we go back to the neck, then your Varitone, we'll put it on 2. And then this is 3. And then 4. And 5. And 6. Wow, really thin. And here's the middle. And we'll run through the Varitones. This is on 1. And then 2. Three. 4. 5. 6. And then the bridge pickup. Two. 3. 4. 5. Wow. And 6. All right, we'll go back to neck on the Varitone 1, and then we'll throw some distortion on it. What did I say? That was neck. And let's run through the Varitone a little. We don't have to do a ton of. Sounds like an old radio. And this is the bridge pickup. That's on 1 for the Varitone. Three. Four? Yep, 4. Five. It's kind of nasally sounding. Feels that. That's really sort of nasally sounding. Let's see. Nice. Okay, so there you go. There it is. That's the Back to the Future ES345 from Epiphone. Pretty nice guitar. Let's see how the action is on it real quick. Action on it right out of the box is kind of high for my taste. Yeah, it's up there. It's 2.5 on the low E, and if I could see, geez, almost 2.25 on the high E, so it's pretty high. Obviously, these are pretty easy to adjust, so we can set the action up the way we want it. Neck is very straight. Like I said, it's built really well. I don't know if there's some tuning issues with the Bigsby, or if it's just because the strings are fresh. I'd have to play around with it for a while. It's been sitting down here for quite a while, so it's acclimated to the environment down here, but it just seems like it goes out of tune pretty easily. And I haven't played it a ton since I pulled it out of the box, but I mean, so the strings are probably still stretching a little bit. So I guess my conclusion on this is, if you're really into the nostalgia, the Back to the Future brand, the movie, then this is a great collector's item, I think. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. I think I'm just going to throw it back in the case and hold on to it for a while, see what happens. I don't really feel like I need to go out and, put it on reverb and try to get a bunch of money for it right off the bat. I mean, I don't know. I think I want to hold on to it and see what happens. But as far as just being a regular guitar, like I said, that Firefly is, probably suitable for somebody that would, that was looking at this. If you're looking at the guitar to actually play it and to use it, and you're not really that into the whole, crossover with the movie and everything, then yeah, this probably wouldn't be such a good buy. But, if you're a collector, then yeah, definitely it's going to be something that you'd want to add to your collection. I don't really consider myself a collector. I sort of buy and sell guitars mainly for the channel to review. I kind of like just to buy them, take them out, play with them, see what they're all about, sell them. If it's something that I want to keep, I'll keep it for a while. If not, I'll just move it along. I'm not a big fan of these big, heavy guitars. Just like my Heritage, it's a Les Paul style guitar, the H150. When you're sitting trying to play it, it doesn't stay put. You almost have to play these with a strap held right here, because the lower bout is so heavy on these that it wants to pull down when you're sitting playing. So they're not really comfortable to play seated. And these aren't too bad as far as weight goes. I probably should have weighed it. Let me see if I've got my... And this one's coming in at 9.1 pounds. Let's see how well it balances on a strap. It's got the strap button in the back behind the neck. Oh yeah, it's definitely balanced well. Okay, so there you go. That's the review on the Back to the Future ES345 from Epiphone. Thanks everybody for watching. Jayce, Allan Guitar. We'll see you again next time.